This is a mystic assassin. It's very powerful and it's nearly immortal. Like I said, to some extent this class is balanced to some extent. However, because of how many tools that you have at hand, you can by all means become a broken, overpowered monster, provided that you actually do take the proper psionic disciplines for this character. Remember also that this could also be somewhat of an overwhelming class because of how many psionic disciplines. There's like lots and lots of psionic disciplines, and there's ones that synergize depending on what is it that you would want to do. Now let's talk about the level progression and itemization and how does this class work. For sake of making this video a little bit shorter than they usually are, I'm trying a different format in here, so bear with me in here. Usually I like to guide you a step-by-step leveling up from level 1 to level 12. I'm still going to do the same thing but a little bit diluted. You will see in here that we already have our level 12 character. So let me tell you first about the ability scores that you are going to have. This is how you should be looking like. The dexterity, it's as low as it can possibly be, because we're going to be using one psionic discipline to increase this to 19, to increase our armor class with our medium armor right here. The Order of the Soul Knife gives you martial prowess, giving you access to martial weapons, although you're not going to be needing them because you're going to be using psychic blades. But then again, it is going to give you access to medium armor, which I'm wearing right here. Medium armor is going to be augmented by the dexterity that you have. We'll get to that in a little while. Now, this is how your ability scores should be looking like. 10 strength, 9 dexterity, constitution 16, wisdom 12, and charisma 12. At level 6 and at level 12, we select our feats for ability improvements to increase our intelligence to 20, because this increases our attack and damage rolls for our psychic weapons that we have right here. You might be wondering, what about level 4, where we're going to be taking Warcaster, because this guy right here increases our sustain for focus, and this is a class that actually maintains quite a bit of focus, so it is very important to have this right here. That's everything that you need to know as the base character. Now let's talk about this psionic disciplines. The psionic disciplines that you are going to be taking, regardless if you're starting a brand new playthrough with this character, I'm going to guide you through the first ones that you should be taking. The very first one that you should be taking, it's going to be your psionic skirmishing. This is mostly going to be your bread and butter. Most of the damage is going to be coming from here. Although psionic weapon is somewhat of a off damage dealer if you're not. Remember that you're going to be using your bonus actions to deal quite a bit of damage, so you're going to be switching back and forth between these two guys right here. And then let's say that the first one that you're going to be taking is psionic skirmishing. Then we're going to be taking transcendent form. This is what's going to allow us to raise our dexterity to 19, and then your psionic weapon. The nomadic step, that's a mistake, I shouldn't have taken that one, but then you're going to be taking celerity. Celerity is going to be your next focus, because this is going to allow you to perform extra attacks because of the action surge that you're going to get from here. And then finally, once the build established, this is something that you're going to get on the endgame nomadic chameleon to become the ultimate assassin that is not going to be able to be hit by the enemy because of the concentration. So what you're going to be doing in here essentially is that you're going to be swapping back and forth between the nomadic chameleon and your skirmishing and psionic weapon to deal either to have survivability or deal damage depending on the situation that you are in. That's how your character progression should be looking like. So now let's talk about itemization. Once we increase our dexterity to 19, it is going to increase our armor class by 5 points if I am not mistaken. So essentially you're going to have somewhat of a 21 or 22 armor class, which is nothing that crazy. However, that's where you're going to be using your chameleon form. Remember that all of the items for the itemization are going to be in the link in the video description. Then you're going to be using the Helldusk boots, the Helldusk gloves right here, the Killer Sweetheart to have critical hits on demand, the Strange Conduit ring to have additional psychic damage at all times because we're always going to be focused on something, and then the Surgeon Subjugation amulet to have critical hits on demand whenever to have unlimited critical hits on one specific enemy that you want to be critical hitting, and then finally the Cloak of Protection to have a little bit of a extra armor class. So now let's talk about the gameplay and the overall loop that you are going to have. The first thing that you need to know is about buffing your character. Buffing your character, it is very important. Your psychic focus, it is going to be on the skirmishing, because the skirmishing, it's going to give you the 2-weapon fighting, meaning that whenever you summon your soul knives, which are right here, the soul knives are actually nothing that impressive, nothing that amazing. However, they give you extra little nice things because they essentially give your bonus attack rolls and damage rolls towards intelligence. So that's very, very important. Additionally, you can hone the blade. You can spend your psychic points in here. It's going to be 7 psychic points to increase a bonus for 4 attack roll and 4 damage roll. This is going to allow us to have 1123 damage right here. Now this doesn't break concentration with anything either, so now we're going to be taking our spectral arms. This is going to give us bonus to attack rolls, and then you're going to have the psychic brand. This is what's going to increase your dexterity to 19, meaning that we now have our extra armor class because of the extra dexterity that we have right there. And then from the skirmisher, we're also going to get this psionic alacrity. This guy right here allows you to perform an extra attack. If you use the surge of action, that's 1 more attack, extra attack, extra attack. That's very, very powerful. Your main damage dealers are going to be, of course, the Bladed Flurry, which are going to deal quite a bit of damage, and then you're going to have as well the Slice and Dice. This is bonus action, so that's kind of nice. The Blade Flurry is going to be your main means of damage, which is going to be the regular actions that you are going to be performing. You can also sustain concentration to imbue your weapon with elemental damage. But you can also have concentration to have the augmented weapon. This lasts until the long rest, and this is going to give you +3 to bonus attack rolls and damage roll. Ideally, this is what you're going to be using more often than not. However, depending on the situation, you are going to be swapping this thing back and forth, depending on the things that you're actually fighting. So for example, if you feel that you're getting overwhelmed by the enemy, you can, for example, use the Enduring Invisibility, which is going to turn you invisible, and then the attacks that the enemy has on you, they have disadvantage, but you have advantage, and this lasts for 10 turns. So if you feel that you're getting too overwhelmed by the enemies, this is what you're going to be using. And essentially, that's how this class works. It's a very, very powerful class. It's once you have established all of those combos for the psionic disciplines that we have right there, it basically turns you into an unkillable, immortal, damage-dealing beast. Anyways, if you like the content, like and never super appreciate it. And also, you today you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You're indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Have a beautiful day.